Coach, it's great to be out here to watch you guys in the preseason. What are you guys trying to do coming out here in a scrimmage, getting probably your first real live look at some of these guys, and ultimately, what are you trying to see from some of these younger guys today?
Yeah, we're fortunate that we have a lot of returning players that are quality players that have a lot of experience. But what we really need to build over the next couple of weeks before we open is the younger guys that don't have the experience. We feel good about their skill level. We feel good that they're getting better every day. But experiences like this and being able to scrimmage quality teams like Raritan gives our younger guys that don't have that experience a chance to catch up.
Yeah, talk a little bit about Kenny, and now that obviously he's committed to Pitt. What is this going to mean for him going into this season? Obviously, he's a guy that has a real competitive nature, and he's going to give you his hardest this year. But from your standpoint, what do you want to see from him this year, and how do you think at all that he can improve himself in his final year?
Yeah, one of the things that we want to make sure is our kids are prepared when they go to the next level. And Kenny's obviously very skilled, and he's worked tremendously hard to put himself in a position where he can go to Pitt and a program like that and go compete. So some of the things that Kenny needs to continue to do is work like he always does to physically improve. I do think that we can work on some of his leadership ability before he gets to camp, being a little bit more vocal with his teammates, both positively and negatively when they need that. And that's something that we'll continue to cultivate here, through Kenny's senior year, is just the total quarterback, so that when he goes out there, not only is he blessed physically, but he's blessed with all the other aspects of the game.
And Coach, obviously this was a team that faced a lot of challenges last year within the division. It'll be the same thing this year. You guys got a big win against RBC last year. How do you feel that you guys can go into those games this year and ultimately have the same success rate?
Yeah, I think that goes back to the experience. I mean, when you talk about Kenny Pickett's and the Joey Aldarellis and the Chris Vivians and the Anthony Tedescos, those are all players that have played this game at a high level. And they've experienced what it's like to beat the top programs in the Shore Conference. So we're going to lean on those guys throughout our schedule. Our division is extremely competitive. Our out-of-division is competitive. So we know every week it's going to be a dogfight, but we will rely on the players that have the experience winning those big games to kind of get our younger guys up to speed so we can have the same success.
And lastly, coaches, who are some of the guys, ultimately on the offensive and defensive line, and maybe some guys in your secondary too that, maybe some of the newer guys coming up that we may not be too familiar with that should get some snaps this year on offense, and defense too.
Yeah, on the offensive line, Chris Vivian's a 3-year starter coming back. Andrew Worthington's a returning starter. Anthony Maz is a guy that started on the defensive line, will now start both ways. Okay. But a couple of the new names that you'll hear: Christian Wilson on both sides of the offense and defensive line. Lawrence, what's Lawrence's last name? Benton, that's right. Lawrence Betton, B-E-T-T-O-N. Lawrence Betton's another guy that has a ton of ability. He's got a great frame. He just needs to continue to get better every day. So you'll see some of those guys in there as well. So overall, we feel good about the guys that we're throwing out there on both offensive and defensive line. Sean Rossback's a young receiver that has made a lot of plays throughout the preseason for us. Ryan Moran is a young kid that you're going to hear a lot about as it continues to go. And then Mike Krug. Mike Krug's a senior that's coming out for the team for the first time here. He's had a lot of success on the track team, and he's really coming along as well.
All right, well, Coach, thank you very much.
Yep,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.